sure you know that song. It's been played an awful lot. Birdhouse in Your Soul from They Might Be Giants, and that was preceded by the theme from the new album from the band. It's a theme from Flood, sort of almost like an introduction for Flood. And They Might Be Giants have joined me in the studio now on the Saturday sequence, and they're both called John, which is going to make this very easy in terms of an interview. We have John Flansburgh and John Linnell. Welcome to Radio 1.
Thank you.
I saw you described in one of our national newspapers by a man called Jonathan King as the new Beatles. Well, have you seen that?
Well, Jonathan is the new Elvis, as you know.
Well, so he says.
It's quite a compliment.
The King, doing the King's thing his way.
You come from Brooklyn.
Yes.
New York.
Yes.
Is there a sort of tradition of, I'm trying to think of the nice way of putting this, eccentricity or individualism?
I think Brooklyn, the only big tradition there is, everyone's angry that they're living in Brooklyn.
Want to be the other side?
No, I guess maybe, as opposed to Manhattan, which is sort of the mainstream part. I mean, if you live in Brooklyn, you sort of already are obviously out of it, You
have to go through a tunnel, don't you, to get onto Manhattan?
Yeah.
And the people who live in Manhattan tend to look down.
You don't have to. They force you to go through a tunnel. They make you go through a tunnel.
The Manhattan people tend to look down on the Brooklyn guys who come over at the weekend to go to the clubs and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. They're known as bridge and tunnel people.
That's right. So this obviously fired you out to prove that Brooklyn had something special to offer.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a very nice place, I mean, one thing that's nice about it is that you get all the good parts of the city plus this whole other community. I mean, imagine it's sort of like living in Brixton or something.
Oh, that's great.
Where, it's like there's another culture that's just as interesting as whatever the sort of cosmopolitan scene,
Probably a whole lot less self-conscious, too, than
it's really, there's a lot of fun things to be done,
So how did They Might Be Giants start out? Did you know what you were going to do when you got together and started making music?
We still don't know what we're going to do.
Oh, dear, you just ruined one of my other questions.
Right. I don't know. I mean, we sort of felt it was really a hobby band when we started, Basically, John was in a legitimate, working rock band that actually made money, and I was in art school, just sort of, doing fine art stuff, and we just were interested in doing a kind of musical project that was completely sort of on its own terms, really. I mean, we started with the most sort of non-commercial aspirations I think a band could have, and it took a very long time to kind of move into even just playing regular shows. We would play every 2 months and we'd go, well, that was a good show. Now we have to write a whole new set of songs and do another show.
You never repeat yourself.
Yeah, I mean, well, at first that was kind of our goal, but then we realized that, maybe certain people would like to hear those songs again.
So you finally convinced other people that you were entertaining, which was a good step in the right direction.
Right. Well, we thought we'd scare people when we started, and then everyone just laughed, so...
Some people see you as sort of performance artists.
No.
Maybe this is in their heads as opposed to yours.
That worked in our advantage when we started, because we were first performing in places where performance artists performed. So we got to kind of sneak in that way.
We had a hard time, when we first wanted to play at places like CBGB, we'd give them our tape, and they'd be going, well, you don't do straight-up rock and roll, so, but when we went to performance art places, they'd be like, well, you guys really are obviously a rock band. So, we had to kind of convince everybody. So we've gotten used to the total denial.
You like to challenge the values that are currently accepted. That's the one thing that does seem to run through everything you do. A song doesn't have to be 3 minutes long. It can be 50 seconds long and be just as valid.
Yeah, well, actually, we've got our own set of incredibly constrained values that we live by. A song has to not be 3 minutes long, I think, is
They Might Be Giants manifesto that we have pinned to our walls.
Nothing shall be 3 minutes.
Right.
All right, here's one that definitely isn't 3 minutes. This is called Minimum Wage, one of my favourites on the new album. Sort of minimum length and minimum wage, that's They Might Be Giants from their new LP Flood. It's almost like kind of echoes of Frankie Lane and those Western themes.
Maximum Lane, we call it.
Maximum Lane, the minimum wage. It's good, like that.
The new Frankie Lanes.
People saw you as the ultimate indie band, didn't they? They were making these statements, apparent statements about your art and the world.
Well, I don't think we weren't really the ultimate indie band. I mean, they're indie bands whose names we can't say over the radio.
Oh, I know. The Blanks and
that's right, and the Blanks.
Yes, I wasn't thinking of it quite in those rebellious terms, but maybe as independent souls.
Right. Well, I think we still, feel like we're independent souls.
Yes, but you signed that soul away way to
Right.
Warner Communications Incorporated.
Warner Communications would disagree, having now had a 7-year lease on our souls. See, part of it is that being independent, you license everything out. So also, it's just a hassle dealing with 6 record companies. You've got, Benelux on the phone going, "You lied to us about the tour," and it's, what if you don't want to? What if you can't tour Benelux that year?
I
all
get
of a sudden.
At least now you are universally with the same company.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very coordinated.
Yeah. Are you surprised at how far this enterprise has taken you? That you are now an artist, artists working for a major company. Like
Surprised in a way. The thing is, though, that it's taken, almost 8 years at this point to get from our living rooms, to this point.
To the bedroom.
To the bedroom, to the bathroom, and to the Batmobile.
I saw that you were voted or named in Esquire magazine a couple of years ago as 2 of the most influential Americans in musical terms.
Yeah,
That was a bit of a mind-blowing thought.
Yeah. Well, we got invited to this Esquire dinner. They have this thing called the Esquire Register, which is sort of 50 people in society. They've got this guy, cured death.
Yes.
And, and all these other things. And, we're just... I went to this dinner. It was at 21 in New York, which is a very...
Pretty swish, eh?
Yeah, very fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And of course, they put me right next to the guy from Page 6 in the New York Post, who's the gossip columnist. So the entire night I couldn't say anything about anybody because it would appear in the paper the next day. So I just was kind of sitting there watching the whole goings-on. But, we were the only musicians involved, so it was very flattering,
Well, one of the things about you is that you're also very accessible because they give me a phone here in the studio because you can phone They Might Be Giants on a number in the States that you don't even appear to earn money out of. It's not a 900 number or anything.
No.
So if one dials from this country 0101, hang on, 0101 718 387 6962. While we're connecting, what am I going to hear at the other end of this on your line, roughly?
A song.
The notion of it.
Probably a really strange song.
An entertainment.
A short song that hasn't been released on an album.
I think
by
entertainment
us.
would be stretching it. Sounds like America.
It'd be funny if we get the wrong number.
Mom, I'm sorry. We got $500 for the next caller.
What's your favorite radio station? They never get it wrong, have you noticed? They always get the right station.
Right.
Please don't pound on my chest. I cannot see you now. I cannot have seen you before. When it's 12 o'clock, I'll be back by the hour.
Hey, does this sound as good from this distance as it did when you made it? I think we've heard it now, so let it fade. So why do you do it?
Why did you what?
Why do you do it? The line. What's the purpose?
Why? We can't remember. We started doing it, the dial-a-song service, when we couldn't convince anybody
Sell
to make
records.
So we sort of started it, and then we felt like if we stopped, it would somehow be a denial of our promise.
Betraying your principles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now we're stuck.
Well, I think on that, I think we could play another track off the album. Maybe a single this one soon, I gather. This is Twistin'. Twisting from They Might Be Giants, John Flansburgh and John Linnell, who have joined us live today on the Saturday sequence. And because you're here live, you're going to have to play for us as well. That's the forfeit.
What a surprise this is.
They've only rehearsed it 8 times, boys. Okay, what are you going to do?
Well, this is a song by Walt Kelly, the creator of the comic strip Pogo, which I think no one seems to have heard of over here. But
Oh, come on, no, it's printed in, I think, the Guardian newspaper print, Pogo.
oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Isn't that
anyway,
some kind of communist paper?
What's the song called?
the song is called "Lines Upon a Tranquil Brow."
Okay.
Have you ever, while pondering the ways of the morn, thought to save just a bit, just a drop in the horn, to pour in the evening, or late afternoon, or during the night when we're shining the moon? Have you ever cried out while counting the snow, or watching the tomtit Warble. Hello. Break up the cigars! This life is for squirrels. We're off to the drugstore to whistle at girls. Have you ever, while pondering the ways of the morn, thought to save just a bit, just a drop in the horn, to pour in the evening or late afternoon, or during the night when we're shining the moon? Have you ever cried out while counting the snows, or watching the taunted warble hello? This life is for squirrels. We're off to the drugstore to whistle at girls.
That worked really well. What was it called again?
That was Lines Upon a Tranquil Brow.
By Walt Kelly.
That's correct.
Performed by They Might Be Giants. You've just done a European tour, a bit of Britain and a lot of Europe as well.
Yep.
How'd it go?
It was really great, actually. This is the first time we've toured England and had sort of a good response. We've, basically gone up to Manchester and had people kind of
Word
scratch their
filtered
heads.
through.
Yeah, it seems like we've actually finally sort of found an audience here, which is very exciting. We always sort of figured English people would be our best audience, and we're surprised that, people in Alabama somehow seemed more tuned in. Because, I don't know, like England
Maybe
has got
because
this-
we're from New England.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Birdhouse obviously has been a very important
Right.
opening of the door.
Yeah, somebody was saying that evidently the expression "bee in your bonnet" is an English expression.
I believe so, yes.
See, because in the United States we just think of it as an American
A good
expression.
old, it's probably an English language
All right,
expression. We'll leave it at that.
Touché.
Entertainment value important, obviously, to you, but there are sometimes serious sides to the songs. We're going to finish with a track from the album, which is called Your Racist Friend, which I think shows the other side of the coin, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
What more can we say? Gentlemen, John and John, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
talking to us. Here is Your Racist Friend. They Might Be Giants.